Hi, this is Father Louis Skirty with a second episode of dealing with topics related to Mary, Mother of Jesus. In the Catholic Catechism of the Church, the title in which you're looking for Mary always goes under Virgin Mary. She was conceived in the womb of her mother and comes to us as a very special woman who brings us Jesus in the flesh. We were talking about the Rosary before, and I just want to talk about the Rosary, how its popularity through the centuries grew. We know in the 13th century, St. Dominic not introduced it, he used it as an educational tool. But in the 1500s, it became very popular when the Muslim Turks were attacking Constantinople, and Pope Pius V called upon his armies, and the armies of Spain, but that's not what we're concerned about right now, called upon the world to implore the Blessed Virgin Mary as a guardian for the troops fighting to prevent Constantinople from being taken over under the title of Our Lady of Victories. The victory was won at Lepanto, the Battle of Lepanto. The Muslims were defeated, and Pope Pius V declared on that date, which was October 7th, that the feast be established to honor Mary under the patronage of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. So the Rosary now becomes more popular by the 16th century, and Bob's bringing up some very good objections to how we as Catholics maybe misguide our prayers. So let's go there. What is your biggest issue that you heard in discussion with other people?
The biggest issue is we've crossed the line.
Where?
I've never been able to discern that. But the objection is, yes, we have the Rosary, we have Mary, we have the Holy Family, we have all these things, and nothing against that.
I hope not.
But, we have churches where people seem to be venerating Mary. For example, there was a family CCD in our parish, right? I witnessed this. The whole year was dedicated by the women running the program to the Rosary, to a bunch of fifth graders, okay? I can conceive of nothing. If you wanted those kids to leave the church, you wouldn't do anything different, okay?
Tell me how it came across, because I mean, the concept sounds, benign,
great,
easy.
Yeah.
It's Rosary, repetitive prayers, Life of Jesus.
Repetitive prayers.
How was it?
It was done through repetitive prayer, which
is very interesting. We don't do that. Okay, we're not Westerners. Okay, Americans maybe. We don't like repeating prayers ourselves, and the Rosary is, it is 50 prayers.
Well, what was the purpose of that CCD course?
I don't know. You tell me.
The purpose of the CCD is to teach the Catholic religion to the children.
Okay.
So what you did was you made emphasis on the Rosary for an entire year. In fact, after you had them say the repetitive prayers and bored them to death, you took them downstairs into the common hall, and you formed a living Rosary where every child was a bead in the Rosary. Okay?
The only pronoun I'm objecting to is you keep saying you, and it ain't me.
No, not you.
One.
No, not you. Okay, so what did they learn? They learned the supremacy of Mary, and if you ask Mary for something, you'll get it. Okay. Because the Blessed Mother does not turn anyone down.
And that's true.
Yes, it is. But what you've done now is you've taken Christ out of the whole equation.
No. Okay, that's okay. If indeed that happened, that's a major misguidance. Because again, we discussed this. The Rosary always has a crucifix at the end of it, or at the beginning of it, because everything begins and ends in Jesus, Alpha and Omega. If our children are being taught that it's more important to repeat the bead, whole Hail Mary prayer, instead of reflecting on I'll call them the interruptions, the Paternosters, the Our Fathers, which always introduced an element of the life of Jesus, See, that would be a great way, rather than maybe 50 kids, maybe 5 in one group, 5 in another group, each representing a mystery of the Rosary, which would be the life of Jesus, the baptism of Jesus. The thank God for John Paul. He introduced what we call the luminous aspects of the Rosaries.
Yes.
Jesus glorified.
Yes. But that's my point.
Yeah. So they made a mistake.
Okay.
Oh, they overemphasized the wrong thing.
Okay. Then I notice in my parish now, and I see the people I speak to tell me that it's the same thing in their parishes, where every day or on certain dates of the month, the Rosary is being said. And you walk in there, and there'll be nothing against them. The church will be filled with women.
Yeah, yeah.
And when they talk about what they're doing, when they stand in front of a statue of Mary in the parish or the church itself, they're talking to Mary, okay? Which is fine, but the way they're doing it is that they're disregarding the rest of it. It's like, okay, I'm a woman, I like Mary,
who's the mother,
Good. And I can identify with her, and she can identify with what I go through.
Good.
That's it. It's like it's right here, and the rest of it's
and it stops. Okay. Misguidance, because our prayer, all prayer leads to the Father. If it doesn't lead to the Father through Jesus, it's misguided. Okay. When we pray to, a lot of people pray to Saint Anthony if they lose something. Okay, tradition, because he lost his Bible, the image of Jesus as a child brought it back to him. So we pray. Often people pray to Saint Anthony for recovering lost items. And notice how I said that. They pray to St. Anthony, okay? That's incorrect. We pray through the intercession of St. Anthony to find something for us, because as Mary, Anthony, and any of the saints can intercede for us. But you can intercede for me. When you pray for me, and we're praying for Jerry right now, who's ill, we're praying for him. I have no control of God, but I'm asking God, as I raise the intention up before him, to intercede. So I'm the intercessor. Now, God's going to take care of things the way he wants to take care of. But the power of prayer, going up to God, causing healing, is almost notoriously positive, because it does work. Not as a gimmick, but as God responding to us. Now, if I go to the statue, and I'm Italian, so I know what it means to pray to a statue. I was there. My home parish was Holy Rosary, Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. And yes, I would see my grandmother praying to the statue of Mary, as if she were really there. Simple faith. My grandmother was born in 1800s. Simple faith. And many of our Catholics still maintain that simplicity of faith without going into the depth of our faith, as Mary as an intercessor, Mary as a guide, and to say Mary, pardon the expression, the buck stops there, is incorrect. So, I guess the question is to you, and to our audience, and to those who pray in front of the statue of Mary, do you really know what you're doing?
Correct.
And are you really praying to her Son, not to her, through her to her Son? Does that make more sense?
That makes a lot of sense, because that's where the line is, where you cross the line. And whenever Mary has appeared, she's made it abundantly clear that whatever she's doing, she's been requested to do by her Son, and everything that you do is for his glory.
Absolutely.
And I think I get very uncomfortable when I see.
Yeah, well, I mean, for instance, the parish Annunciation took a trip to Lourdes, okay? Now, you know that's going to be a very Marian-centered vacation experience. I was at Lourdes with the processions at night, and the statue being processed, and then the statue being located. It looks, that's why the eyes of faith are very important. It looks almost pagan. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
It looks like we're adoring a statue. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's really, really important when we pray to know what prayer is, to whom prayer is directed, and what we're doing. So I could have a picture of your parent in my house, or you can have a picture of your parent, and in a place of honor. Okay,
Yes.
you're not going to adore your mother's picture, but you're going to put it in a place of honor, teach your grandchildren and your children about who she was.
Right.
That's what our role is with Mary, I think, so often, and maybe we overemphasize that. If you start worshiping that image of a relative,
Yeah, that's crossing the line.
yeah.
All right.
This has been Father Lou Scurti with a very challenging topic, and in honor of Mary, and I'm glad we're doing it because I love Mary. She's a very special patron of mine. I'll tell you why in another segment. And we're continuing these segments. Mary, today's topic was called Going to Mary, and let's see what the next one will be. Let me hear from you. Father Lou Scurti at hotmail.com. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.